Hi, Esther.
Hmm.
I wanted to speak to you today about something you'd mentioned in one of our other chats, which was that you had mentioned that the highest frequency lingam, etheric lingam inside of a woman is what appears as the external man. And I was wondering if you could elaborate on that or like why the what do you mean by the highest frequency?
So I'm going to go into the yoni right now. It may not appear straight away, especially if you are estranged from that frequency. So if you're more used to a certain quality of, let's call it masculine presence, because what you're doing when you go down in what you're doing when you concentrate your mental, um, when you concentrate your mental directive energy, you're teaching your own masculine presence, because presence is the attention that you give to something. If you're unable as a woman, let's talk about it from a woman's perspective, you're unable as a woman to bring your own mental attention into your own body, what likelihood are you going to have of meeting a man who does that? The reason why you're not going to be able to do that is because even if you, say by chance, happen to attract a man who does, you won't be able to keep your attention there. So you're not going to be able to even meet a man who would do that inside of your body. The reason why you will attract the highest etheric lingam frequency at some point is because if you go in there and you anchor enough and you keep anchoring in there, first of all, you won't attract the ones who aren't at that level. They won't even be drawn. And second of all, you'll recognize them and be kind of there'll be no magnetism there for that. And even if you have to go in with this masculine lingam in some way, shape or form, you'll shape or form etheric or physical, because we never know what God brings us. But you will quickly kind of, it won't stick. And even if you did have an experience like that and you go in and you go towards that highest lingam frequency, again, that will not sustain itself in your energetic field.
And how do you think it works for the man?
The woman is the reflection of his internal energetic life force. So the more he's going into his own body and releasing her from the constraints of his own control, and his control is programmed, egoic, personal beliefs and structures that keep her suppressed in him. So when he was a child and he got teased for being too feminine and he crushed and he pushed that down, all these things, the more he does that, the more he meets a wild woman. As even Tupac would say, calls me a wild woman, because he meets his deepest feminine that's able to kind of for some reason I was going to say blockade or like stamp, go through very heavy densities, but that's, you know, she's able to like flow through his physical density.
Mm.
And he's able to penetrate her deeper. But he also needs, a lot of men have very scattered presence, attentiveness, like being able to even be interested in the woman in a sexual scenario. And maybe that's why a lot of men even get busy trying to please the woman and even give her an orgasm or whatever, is because it keeps them hidden, keeps their vulnerable heart of loving woman so much that they have to realize what they're prepared to do in order to be close to the goddess in her. He's prepared to enter another body and to absolutely like be annihilated in his love organ where you can't see it anymore, to merge with her. And if you wake up during that moment, that is egoically deconstructing to the mind.
That's very powerful.
Yeah, I don't think as women we understand the degree to which men love us. And I think love us on an intrinsic, innate, organic level. And honestly, as a woman, it's devotional to sacred union, let's call it, quote unquote. I'm not sure, it's to constantly devote to that template rather than your mental understandings of what you think this man is doing. Um, you know, it's incredibly humbling for a man to put his lingam inside of your yoni.
Mm. I'm just so touched by everything that you've said. So I'm really taking it in.
Yeah, I didn't expect to say that either. Yeah, the level of desire for a man, in a man, for a woman is immense and very concealed in our society and distorted, because we really considered, everyone's very offended that men are watching pornography, and I'm not in any way condoning it, but if we really considered why many of these sexual acts have emerged, and masturbation, you could say that there's an actual fear of now giving giving themselves up to the degree that it takes to go into a woman's yoni. And maybe there's some truth in that, because women have forgotten the sacred, the sacredness of remembrance that man is as sensitive as she is.
And in what way do you feel a woman can love a man? Like, what would you say is the deepest form of that?
Loving a man, yeah, loving a man is nurturing and fostering the lingam yoni template within herself, so that there's no doubt of the highest place that her lover and men come from. And so that she's not swayed by societal and programmed notions that are specifically targeted to have her feel unsupported and unmet. And that she, in a very aligned way with her deepest heart's desire, inspires the man to stay where, to want to naturally synchronize with that yoni lingam. I mean, it's not hard if you are there yourself. It's not really about proving anything. And it's quite effortless when you're prepared to I'm looking down to think exactly of the words, because I'm going into the yoni. When you're prepared to it's sort of like it's release, to yeah, it's like a releasing, a relinquish to, to relinquish whatever is in the way, which is usually your personality constructs. That would also include softening the yoni all the time. Because what happens in the genitals is when the personality gets involved in the genitals, so basically they go hard. They go hard, they go rigid, they go resistant. You can't flow the love between the two energetic circuits that are designed to plug into each other to to touch the most highest electrical divine frequency of God. Between them, it's not